I don't know how. I don't know where. All I know is that I am currently suffering through the furnace of affliction and adversity. And it seems like everyone in my life has scattered like roaches. Like no one's around when you're going through great affliction, and you have no idea how you're going to come up out of it. And nobody understands this except for those that go through it. To have everybody desert you, literally have no one that seems to have your back, not even your own family. And all you've done is show love, kindness, and mercy to all living beings upon the face of the earth, and even more so now that you're conscious of it. But yet, you're still in turmoil. You're still in the furnace of affliction, still in the furnace of adversity, knowing that people hate me, knowing that I can feel the hatred. I can feel the, oh my gosh, bro, it's crazy. And I don't even know how to explain it. But all I know is I love the Father, and I love what He put in me to do. And at the same time, I'm always in mourning, in my own suffering and travailing, and also the travailing and suffering of all creation. I'm rich in His Word. Physically, man, I've been going through hell. And I have been my whole life. And my faith is being tested, apparently. My faith is really being tried right now. Because, hell, most people in my situation would have been out there on a bus trying to look for any place that will hire them, any place that'll let them in the door so they can get gain and make money so they can be a part of society, to be a constructive person of society, you know. Bruh, I hate everything about this world. I hate every single thing about it. What they have set up is not right. Now, I'm sorry if you can't accept that. I'm sorry if you can't come to terms with the fact that this world is a sham and was literally constructed and created by Satan and all of his minions, okay? Everything that you think is a comfort, everything that you think is a plus, a bonus, and a good thing, okay? Good is being called evil, and evil is being called good in these days, okay? Everything is upside down and backwards. You think it's a good thing to have a job? You think that's a blessing from the Creator, the giver of life, and the giver of free will, free agency? Do you really think that came from the Creator? Or could it be that that came from the God of this world that set up this illusion upon this earth to put everybody under bondage and slavery? The Father gave us this earth freely. He gave us food in which grows from the earth, yet when I look around with my eyes, I see nothing growing. I see no food growing. Some would be like, well, why don't you grow? Because honestly, I have not been financially stable enough to be able to do so. Let's just put it out there on the table, okay? My affliction is poverty, okay? That's been my affliction my whole damn life. And it is not like I haven't worked these damn jobs, okay? I have had many jobs. I have done this. And this is how I know it is not my path. It is not my way. And I know within me what the Father has told me, that I am not going to get myself up out of this poverty. That it's going to be Him, it's going to be for His glory. And I have no earthly idea how that's going to be possible. I do know this. I am not seeking riches and fame. I am not seeking wealth of this world. I can care less about the honors of men. I've been hated my whole life, and all I ever wanted was love. I smoke. Try not to stress. Yet I stress. But I try not to. But it's almost damn near impossible when you know something within your deepest core, but yet the path is not crystal clear. The path to that end goal is foggy, and it's just like I'm blindfolded on a lot of this, because I've never done this before. All my life I felt compelled to go get a job, literally. And most people is going to be like, well, that's what you do. But everything within me and everything the Father kept showing me through each job that I've ever had, every single job that I ever had, the Father brought it back to my remembrance of how I felt during the times of working. What would happen during the times that I would have to get ready? The times that I would have to get ready for work, those would be the key times that all of a sudden I would get such a great idea, or all of a sudden I get this mental image that I could create on Photoshop or Illustrator. All of a sudden I would get these thoughts, bro. It will be in my mind's eye, will be in my head, and I'm like, well, I can't focus on that. I got to get ready for work, okay? But every single time, it never failed. Every single time, and like, so it got to the point to where it's like, well, I know I have to work. Like, if you don't work, you don't eat. And then as I'm working these jobs, everything about it irked me. Every single thing about it. They didn't care about me. Especially the jobs where I had to get up at like freaking 5 a.m. to be at work by 6, and I'm working 12-hour shifts. I've done it. Okay? It's not like I haven't been a whipping post slave. Alright? I've worked 12 and even a 16-hour shift, I believe, it was 14, or it was more than 12. I think it was a 14-hour shift or something. It was literally, this is when I was in security. I've had a lot of jobs. I've been employed by a lot of different employers, and me and employers just don't get along, okay? Because I'm not with all of their rules and regulations and all of these nitpicking things that they do to try to control you. Try to control who you are as a person. What is my body's rhythm? What is my sleep cycle? I don't know the actual scientific term for that, circadian rhythm or something like that. But what is my sleep cycle? My sleep cycle does not coincide with your demands that you're demanding of me. So it becomes, in essence, torture. So I have been tortured in the essence of having to be up at a certain time. Knowing, and then, it was torture to me because I would force myself to try to go to bed early. All right? knowing that I can't sleep because this is not the time that I'm normally going to sleep, but I'm trying to force myself to do it because my employer is demanding for me to be at the job at a certain time, and I can't be late because that looks bad on me as an employee. Like, I'm supposed to be like this good slave. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, bro. I do not think like the majority of the world, okay? All right? I don't think like the majority of the world. And no, I do not think that I am better than anybody else that is having to do this, okay? We were all forced into it. But for the fact that my eyes have been opened, the Father has literally opened my eyes, and He has given me a mouthpiece to speak about these things. And I relay my life into it because it's what I know, is what I've lived, okay? So I force myself to go to sleep, but I can't sleep because I'm thinking about how I'm not going to get enough sleep. I'm thinking about how am I going to get enough sleep to be able to wake up at this certain time. Alarms are horrible for our body. It's literally torture. We torture ourselves in order to take care of our basic necessities when these things were given freely by the Creator who loves us. But there is an evil entity that rebelled against the Creator of life. And he has set himself up like the Most High, and the majority of the world praises him. The majority of the world is walking hand in hand with the enemy of the Father. Now, the Father doesn't see him as an enemy because the Father is all powerful, okay? This is why I fear no man. This is why I fear no evil. This is why I don't have to own no weapons. I don't have to have no weapon because my Father is the most almighty power. Ain't no power greater than my Father, the Creator and giver of life. And as long as the Father wants me on this earth, I'm going to be here. And as long as I keep His eternal laws, then His eternal laws is going to be in effect for me. I don't put out into the earth hatred and murderous thoughts and envy and strife and all of these things. I don't put those negative energies out in the earth. I live my life in a positive manner. I put positivity out in the earth, but yet I tell the truth on the evil that has been done upon this earth. And now evil is being called good, and good is being called evil. I'll be looked down upon because I'm telling you that working a job is slavery. We should all have our necessities freely. Okay? Things that cause us to sustain our lives, we should not have to work for those things. Those things were given to us freely. We should not have to pay rent. We should not have to pay land fees. We should not have to pay for groceries. We should have food growing all over the earth. If our government really gave a crap about us, they would have fruit trees and vineyards. Freaking gardens would be everywhere. But they are not, are they? No, you're forced to go buy it from a grocery store where they poison everything and genetically modify everything and sell it back to you, slowly poisoning you to try to kill you. And your job is draining all of your energy, all of your essence. All through the weekdays. And then you get to the weekend where you're weakened because you done slaved all week. Who is the CEO of your company? Does he slave? Or is his life a dream world? He get to go where he want when he want to go. Because he got the finances to be able to do that. He don't work. He sits back and collects the money from his slaves. Who are you? The working class. I am tired of this system. That is not strife. That is not contention. That is bitter truth. I know I have a lot of haters. My family say they love me, but I don't feel the love. I know that they love me in their own way, but they never understood me. They never could see who I am. And no one around me could see who I am, though they know that I don't treat anyone the way I wouldn't want to be treated, and that I treat everybody the way I want to be treated. They may not want to admit that, or they may not even notice it. I don't know. I feel like most people has been dumbed down so much, they don't really notice it. I've been like a ghost in this world. People don't really see me for who I am. They look on my exterior package and they think that they can sum me up. They think that they can sum me up by a title. They think that they can sum me up by a gender. They think that they can just put me in a cage, put me in a box, and just categorize me. But I am alone. Because don't nobody get me. Don't nobody understand me. Even my friends, like, they don't get me neither. I was telling my homie, my Aki, the other day when he took me to the store. He was talking about some things that shocked me about him. You know, I ain't know my Aki was out there like that. But I told him, I'm like, Aki, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You live by the gun, you die by the gun, my Aki. You don't need no weapons for protection. What you put out into the earth, you gonna receive, my brother. You know, and I told him this in love. And he just like confused, like, bruh, I'm going to protect myself. I'm like, bro, there's eternal laws in effect that we cannot change. Nobody is going to be able to change the eternal laws of cause and effect. All right? And if you live your life in a righteous manner, then you have nothing to fear. And if something evil does come your way, the Most High got way more power than any evil entity upon this earth, okay? And I have been miraculously delivered on many different occasions, all right? I have seen with my own eyes divine intervention, okay? Dealing with my own life several different times, not once, not twice, like actually seemed like over and over, because I live my life in a stupid manner, okay? I live my life foolishly. I was a wanderer. I lived my life aimlessly, just doing whatever, you know, came to mind, you know, like whatever I thought about, I was doing it, you know, and I gave no thought to it. So the Father, He protected me a lot, okay? And I got videos on my channel talking about some of these experiences. All right, I talk about the lamb, the red lamb that I seen as a child. Okay, it was like a vision or something. Um, and I had to ask my mom recently because, like, I wanted to make sure I didn't imagine that. But she confirmed it, and she said, yeah, you were around 11 years old. And we were walking. I think she said she believes it was in Gary. I thought it was in Chicago. But she said it was in Gary. But we were both walking, okay? And somehow I stopped in the midst of walking, and all I remember was that everything paused. Like, there was traffic, there was other people walking across the street, but everything paused. And the only thing that I could see moving was this red lamb standing on the corner. And next thing I know, my mom was looking at me and looked at concern, asking if I was okay. And I asked her, I was like, did you see that red lamb? And she said no. And but she confirmed to me that's what happened that day. Like, she didn't know what was going on with me. But and she said that she remembered me asking her if she seen the red lamb, and she said I'll never forget it. She said I'll never forget that day. So I had a sign early on in my life that I was chosen by the Father, and I don't say that in pride. I literally say that with humility. And I know the reason why my family look down on me, and they can't see it. It's like they've been blinded, but yet they know these things about me, okay? They know these miracles that's happened with me, okay? But it's almost like they've been put to sleep, or they got this blind on them, because they can't see that the Father had chosen me to be like the curse breaker. The generational curse breaker. I'm literally the black sheep of my family. Okay, I'm the one that got into all the trouble. I'm the one that my whole family thought would be a sexual deviant. I never knew that I would be celibate, almost going on a year. It'll be a year come May 10th. May 10th, something like that. Yeah, I think it's May 10th. It will be a complete year that I have been 100% celibate. No masturbation, no none of that. So, of course, I didn't turn out to be a sexual deviant. But I just see that my whole life, the Father has had his hand on my life. And when he flashed all of that in my mind's eye in 2017, 2019, first in 2017, that's when I first met him, because I didn't know the true Creator before then. Like, the God that I believed in was the God of the Bible, the God of this world. They're one and the same. I'm sorry if that bursts your bubble, but yes, they're one and the same, okay? The Creator, the giver of life, is outside of a book, okay? You can't contain him in a book, all right? He's way outside of that. So though you can find some of his words written in that book, those same words are written inside of you and inside of all of his creation. His living, breathing creation is his word. Okay? So you can't contain his word in a book and be like, oh, this is the infallible word of God. These heathens are beside themselves, like with arrogance. Like, that is the supreme. You can't get no more arrogant than that, than to say that the Bible is the infallible word of God. Like, are you serious right now? What is the definition of infallible? Let's go look that up. And I'm just going to go with this. What's the definition of infallible? incapable of making mistakes. Now, I am going to prove that the Bible is not infallible, okay? Because infallible, the definition means incapable of making mistakes or being wrong, all right? So, all right, now, never failing, always effective. That's a sub definition, okay? In Roman Catholic Church, credited with papal infallibility. All right, the Pope claiming to be Christ on earth. Okay, this is your Antichrist. You sitting here waiting for the Antichrist. The Antichrist been right in your face, and you've been praising him. Okay. The Roman Catholic Church, the freaking Pope, that's your Antichrist. Your freaking religions, all of them, your freaking Islam, Buddhism, all your religions, okay, is all the Antichrist, all right? Now, if the Bible was infallible, how could there be clear, concise contradictions all throughout it? And I'm just going to pick one for now, okay? Because I'm not going to be on here forever, all right? So let's look at the contradiction between Leviticus and Jeremiah, all right? Leviticus chapter 7, 37 through 38. This is the law of burnt offering, of the meat offering, and of the sin offering, and of the trespass offering, and of the consecrations, and of the sacrifice of the peace offerings, okay? Let me go read that again. This is the law of the burnt offering, of the meat offering, and of the sin offering, and of the trespass offering, and of the consecrations, and of the sacrifice of the peace offerings, which the Lord commanded Moses, in Mount Sinai in a day that he commanded the children of Israel to offer their oblations unto the Lord in the wilderness of Sinai. Okay? People truly want to believe that the Almighty Creator and Giver of life wrote this. Alright? People really want to believe that. They want to believe that so wholeheartedly. That they think is perfectly okay, that the giver of life is requiring blood sacrifices of his innocent creation. All right, let's go ahead and go to Jeremiah 7:22 through 24. It says, "For I spake not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. But this thing commanded I them, saying, Obey my voice, and I will be your power, and ye shall be my people. Walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you. But they hearkened not, nor inclined their ear, but walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward." So it seems to me that in the the imaginations of their evil heart, they want to follow Leviticus. They want to follow the God that commanded this sacrifice, in which the true power is telling us in Jeremiah through one of his prophets that he did not speak unto their fathers and command them to give him no burnt offerings. He spoke through another prophet, Isaiah, saying, what is the purpose of the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith the Most High? See, that's the true power speaking. The true power spoke through through his prophets, okay? All right, he didn't speak through the Levitical priesthood. He wasn't speaking to these men. Over and over he said, I spake not to your fathers. I did not send these prophets, yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. But if they had stood in my counsel, they would have caused these people to turn from their evil ways. But they didn't do that, did they? No, they didn't. But they caused them to err even more. Now, like I said, I ain't gonna stay on here, okay? There's a clear contradiction, all right? So it's like, who's lying? You're trying to say it's infallible? You're saying it's incapable of making mistakes or being wrong? That is never failing? How is it always effective? How is it effective when you get a clear, concise contradiction? Clearly, that's two different powers. That's two different powers, one in Leviticus and one in Jeremiah. The same one on one accord in Isaiah. The same one in one accord in Genesis 1:29 through 30. We can find the same one in one accord in unison all throughout the so-called Holy Bible. But we can also find another. We can find another that said he will set himself up like the Most High. And he will boast against the Most High and set his kingdom up there with the stars. And he will sit upon the sides of the north. Well, he has deceived the whole earth, in which your holy Bible then told you he would do. But yet you can't see it. You can't see that you've been blindly deceived. You can't see that you've been lulled by to sleep, and you serve the God of this world, who is the enemy to the Most High Power, the giver of life. And on that note, man, I'm just going to go ahead and end it there. Shalom. And it was 444 when I said that. Wow.